Okay, this is another solve by taking the square roots. So again, you look at the left side to see if there's anything to simplify. You look at the right side, there's nothing to simplify, right? So I don't have to go forward and doing the math. I'm ready to solve, so I can undo. And when you undo, you go backwards. You do all the adding and subtracting first. So I got to bring this constant of 8 over to the other side. So it's adding 8, right? So I got to do all the adding and subtracting first. So the opposite of adding is subtracting, or the inverse of adding is subtracting. So I'm going to subtract both sides, right? There it's 0, and here it's 180. Well, I'm pretty much done with the adding and subtracting. Now I jump to the multiplying and dividing. I can see here that the inverse of multiplying by 10 would be dividing by 10, right? That leaves you the positive 1x squared, which is what you wanted. And 180 divided by 10 would be 18. Okay. Now you're ready to do your exponent. Well, there is an exponent in this case. So to get rid of that square, the inverse of square, don't forget, is square root. Correct? And now you square root both sides, and that eliminates the square root right there. The square and the square root cancel. So it's all gone there. The only thing left over is the x. Don't forget, since you're solving, you got to consider the positive and the negative. But I don't want you to leave the 18 just like that. I want you to make sure you simplify the 18. So take that 18 and break it down to prime numbers. 9 times 2 is 18, and 2 is a prime number. I can continue the branch on the 9, 3 times 3. And they're both prime numbers. So in essence, the square root of 18 is actually 2 times 3 times 3. Here's a pair right there. Why is that important? Because I can rewrite that as 3 squared. Again, the square and the square root are inverse of each other, so they'd be able to cancel each other out. The 2 is by itself, so I didn't write it under the square root, but I know that these can eliminate, right? That square root is completely gone. The only thing left over is the 3. So in this case, the 3 is outside, and there's only a 2 on the inside. So the answer is going to be 3 square root of 2. Put the plus and minus in front, and the x in this case, because you have the letter x. So x equals plus or minus 3 square root of 2.